and welcome back to Sharon Cullen Art. Today is another sketchbook tour. I finished another sketchbook. This one was the Sketching Academy book by, I forget what his first name is because I tore it off. Maybe it's Mikhail Solovyev's signature professional watercolor sketchbook. It was a Saunders 100% cotton Saunders Waterford paper, and it was a really nice sketchbook. In fact, I may get another one. I really did enjoy it. It is a portrait layout rather than the landscape layout, so there's a difference there, but I wanted a portrait layout. I like to do a lot of verticals, so when I'm doing landscapes. So I went ahead and did it, and I thought, well, I can always turn them sideways, just like you would with a landscape book. But anyway, this book I started August 15th of 2023. I only worked in it for a couple of weeks, and then I put it down to finish another sketchbook. Then I picked it up again in January, and I just finished it. And you will see in the middle where things kind of fall apart for me. I was struggling, as you saw in another sketchbook. For a while, I just struggled with every single thing I painted. Then finally, by the end of the sketchbook, I start to get it together. So let's go ahead and I'll show you what I got. Okay, that took me a minute to get set up because everywhere I put you, there was sunlight on my table. But I found a spot by my wall where there's no sunlight peeking in. And I'm not complaining about sunlight because I love sunlight. It's been so long. But anyway, this sketchbook, like I said, was from August 15th to March 3rd. I had a break in there from August to January and then started it up again. This first painting was just from a sunset photo that I had taken in Caseville, which is a city nearby, or a village. Then this one is just a landscape study that I had done in gouache. That was August 15th, and it was with a study with Maddie Belnoir, something like that. And then this was a watercolor landscape that just kind of fell apart. It was from the Michigan UP over by Pictured Rocks, Lake Superior. And then this was a photo at a park that my husband and I go to quite often at the end of our street. We were walking Tully on the beach, and while it was right after my knee replacement, just a few weeks, maybe 5 weeks after. And it was my first walk, quote unquote, that I was taking, where I was walking in sand, and I was very concerned because the sand is uneven, and if you've ever walked in sand, you know what I'm talking about. It can be hard to walk in sand, and after a knee replacement, it's really hard. So anyway, we went down the beach just a little ways, like maybe up to here, and then turned around to come back, and a storm was blowing in. It was coming in very quickly behind us, and we walked up the hill, got into our car, and we're going to watch the storm roll around, and it hit just when we got in our car. So we made it just in time. But then I went ahead and painted that when I got home. This is a seagull that I saw in another walk a couple days later. We were walking down the beach, and the seagull was just perched on a rock, just playing around, and I got a photo of him to do the painting. And then this was just a photo that I found on Google Earth, I believe. This was somewhere in the UK. No, France. Google France. And that was done in watercolor. This one was also done in watercolor. Then this one was Paseo de, can't even read my own writing, something Lazaro in Porto, Portugal. And I found that on Google Earth as well. And then this is a barn near my house that I painted. And this is where things start falling apart, and I feel like I'm just going backward. I was in my house one morning and I just painted a bunch of toys that I saw laying around on the floor. Some of these used to be Diesels. These two. And then these two, oh, that was Diesels also. And then these two were Tullys. But he took over Diesel toys, so. Then this was a landscape that failed. I just overworked it, and I ended up stopping. And then this, I was just messing around on a page, as you can see. Then this one was also a online photo reference that I saw, and I really enjoyed sketching this. It was a lot of fun to do. And I think the photo was much prettier than my sketch, but this one was in a little store in Croatia of a photo reference and sketched. This one was pretty complicated. There was more stuff out in front of this too that I left out of the photo. It was hard fitting everything in. Then this was Bill's Restaurant on Lexington Street in London. Again, from a photo reference on Google Earth. I've never been there. But if you live in London and you're seeing this, maybe you know where this is. And then this was just some of my painting supplies that I had on my table that I was working with, trying to fit it all in the photo here. And then this was nothing, just doodling, sketching. And now here I am in January coming back. This is done in watercolor. We had 4 inches of snow that morning. I was having a lot of pain in my left arm. That's something I didn't tell you guys, along with the COVID and everything else. I was struggling with my cervical and thoracic spine. I've got another bulging disc, and I've got a spondylolisthesis where one vertebrae falls down over the top of the other one, and it's been very painful, affecting my left arm and my left hand, which goes ice cold, and then I get a lot of pain in my last 2 fingers. So painting has been very difficult. I know I've been receiving a lot of message, where have you been? Are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. Well, that's what's been going on. So, again, I'm seeing a lot of doctors, and it may mean more surgery down the road. I'm sure it will, but I'm not looking forward to that, so I don't want to think about it. Then this one was done the next day on January 31st, and the cold weather had kind of ended, the snow stopped, and then we were getting a lot of fog. I just did this kind of imaginary landscape of the fog. This was also done in watercolor. Then here, this one was a study that I did, and unfortunately the paper tore and got onto my next sketch. I didn't really care for how this turned out because the window should have come down further, or I should have put more plants in front of it so that you wouldn't see where the window panes ended. But that was in gouache. This one is a sketch in Bic pen, and then I just added a little bit of watercolor to it. I liked the perspective of the rose. It was kind of laying flat, and you saw the head of the rose and then the stem behind it. So it was a fun perspective to sketch. And then here, this was just me fooling around. My portable painter palette, I put my gouache in, and those are the colors that were in there. I was reconstituting them because they're still pretty hard, and I need to either clean them out and refill them or reconstitute that. So then this is just some daffodils I did. I've never done flowers in gouache before, and so I wanted to give it a shot. I think I need to stick to watercolor when it comes to painting flowers. It's much simpler, I think, with watercolor. Some things are simpler with gouache, but flowers, not for me. Then I think I'm on gouache from here on out. This one was a couple of chili peppers that I saw online, and I decided to paint those. Then this was another gouache landscape study. It's pretty dark. It's hard to see, but those are trees. I don't know if I should put it in the light. Well, then you won't be in the camera, duh. My light is over here, and I can't get it on here. I'm trying, but anyway, these edges are trees going around. There's a tree here, and then it just kind of overlaps. And that is it. There was a spot on the bottom of my page, so I covered it with this little snake plant, which was done in watercolor, I guess. Then this is another landscape study in gouache. I liked adding the little butterflies. That was fun. And then this one, this was an imaginary landscape that I just kind of thought up in my head. And then this one was done from photo reference. Just a lake study. This one's a little more of a realistic one. It was a lot of fun. I love doing these kind of fantasy looking ones, you know, with the darker colors and stuff, but this was fun too. And these were all done in gouache. Then this was something else I just fooled around with in gouache. Didn't turn out very well. I was tired and my paint was too dry, and it was skipping on the paper. This is 100% cotton paper, so it made it a little more of a challenge. And then this one I finished yesterday. This is another imaginary landscape. I was just fooling around. Guess dreaming of summer, right? And that's it for this sketchbook. Now I think I'm going to move on to my Bao Hong sketchbook that I had bought. A lot of people have been using these. I was tempted to try it, and it is also 100% cotton paper. They're very affordable, and I like the squishy cover too. It's kind of nice. 100% cotton paper. Doesn't say what brand, so I'm just assuming it's Bao Hong's paper. But I'm going to go ahead and begin on this sketchbook next. This one is a little bit bigger. It looks like it is 9.5 by 6.5. So 9 by 6 probably inside, I would think. And nope, it's 9.5 by 6.5 inside, just under. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and try this book next. It should be a lot of fun, and I'll start that one today. I don't know if I'm putting the sketchbook tour out before my painting tutorial. I probably will, because that other video is over an hour long, and there's a lot of footage I have to edit out and all of that. So I will probably go ahead and do the sketchbook tour first, just so that I can post a video for you guys, and then we will have the tutorial coming either at the end of the week or next week. So remember, everybody, be courageous, paint with wild abandon, and most of all, be kind to each other. Take care, God bless you, and I will see you soon. Bye.